Thank you, Instagram, for snapping on so quickly. We are practicing social distancing.
Yes, we are.
Look at us with our masks that say "Make America Italian Again." And we can take them off now because we're ready to play ball here in the basement. All right, here comes everybody into Facebook Live. Thank you so much for coming in. We have a huge studio audience watching us tonight. My friend Jimmy Palumbo, who's been in a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows, he's also an excellent stand-up comedian, decided to stop by tonight and say hello. And he and I are going to have a nice chit-chat when we're done doing this little podcast. We might even go out for a slice of pizza, talk a little business, and maybe Jimmy will happen to be on one of the shows that we're going to be doing later in this week. So let's get started. Hi, Nick. How you doing? Victoria, it's nice to see you. Thank you so much, everybody, for writing into the show right away. Folks, tonight on the show, we not only have an entertainer who happens to be funny like I am, who not only happens to be handsome and Italian and suave, but he happens to be a singer. Now, I don't think I've had a singer on the show other than some guys who think they can sing. Had a lot of actors, celebrities, reality show people. We've even had some crazy sponsors who sit here and eat their food while they're on the show, which wouldn't be great. Would be great if our sponsor actually gets here because fucking star. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, come on in, come on in, come on in. There you go, there you go. This is Michael Martucci, and the crowd goes wild. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Thank you. Hold it down there.
I've been lucky enough to be the opening act for Michael Martucci last Christmas. He did a big Christmas show over at the Count Basie in, of course, Red Bank, New Jersey. Now, if you don't know much about the Count Basie, it is one of the most famous theaters in the United States. Everybody from around the world hopes and wishes that they get to perform at the Count Basie. As a young comedian coming up, I always hoped that I would get to play at the Count Basie as a comedy humorist, and finally last summer I did, and I did that on the Memorial Day weekend, which had opened up the summer, and lucky for me, we did 1,300 seats. Thank you. That seats 15, right? 1,500?
1,560.
1,560. He knows the exact number. I pretend I don't know. I just say sold out, please. But anyway, it's a beautiful, beautiful theater. It was built in, I think, the 1920s.
That's correct.
And we all get to hope that we play there. So I guess Michael got to see me, or hoped, or he knew me, and I was asked to be on a show with him, and it was just tremendous. We did a nice big Christmas special. And when you get on stage with a singer, you happen to notice that there's a 22-piece orchestra. Is it 22 pieces?
22 pieces. Look at you.
22
your numbers
pieces.
right tonight.
Oh yeah, well hey, you know,
I've been a numbers guy.
I've been lucky enough to get on stage with some singers that bring the big orchestra, and it's something that a comedian very seldom gets to experience. When you're going to get to be on stage with an orchestra, it's just never going to happen because we tell jokes by yourself. If anything, you have a picture of an orchestra. But I get to see them, I get to perform with them, I get to enjoy them. Plus, he also has a lot of celebrity friends. Not only were they backstage, they were on stage. And we're going to talk all about that because there's a big show coming up, August 30th, that I happen to be lucky enough to get back on stage with Mr. Michael Martucci again. We're talking about this Sunday night, August 30th at 7:30. There's still a few tickets left. You can get them online at thebasie.org. That is the official website for the Count Basie, thebasie.org, and go to the special events that they're doing at the Blue Grotto. Now, there are some other entertainers at the Blue Grotto, and we're not going to mention who they are, but if you want to see a real show, because not only am I doing stand-up comedy, Michael Martucci is singing. He's going to tell you all about it. But you get two things for the price of one, I believe. You get comedy and song. And I'm also going to let Michael tell you about, well, I don't even know if he's definitely going to be there, but I was really starstruck when you brought the sax player from the...
Mark Rivera from
Right.
Joel's man.
So we're going to let you tell everybody about that because that just blew me away, man. I'm like, man, that's him. It's fucking him. He's backstage going, man, you're funny. I'm like, yeah, but you're and we have a lot of
I know
cool...
you get starstruck.
Some,
Oh, look at
some,
that.
but you don't
Learn
really
it.
get to meet the musicians like
I
that.
got you.
And he is a legend. What does he have? Like the most famous saxophone solo, right?
The two major songs with Billy.
All right, so I'm
But
gonna let
also-
you. I'm gonna let you
yeah,
talk
but
about it
also
because
lot of the
you know it a lot better
performers,
than me.
She always played with Billy, with Elton John and Bruce Springsteen
See, I don't even know that.
and Ringo Starr. It's all part of their band as well.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk to Mr. Michael Martucci, who's on the show with us right now. Nice Italian fella. He's got gorgeous blue eyes. He's going to be doing a little bit of a Sinatra. Now, how do you actually
I know,
want
now I know
to...
why you wanted to sit next to me.
No, that's not me.
I'm not worried about it.
We got nothing against that, but that's not me. How do you actually like to be introduced? Because you're going to be singing Sinatra songs.
Actually, I was going to talk to you about that
All
because
right.
I want you to actually introduce me.
I would like to.
And I'm
Should.
going to go over the logistics of it on the day of the show, but
All right.
you're going to come out and actually, I've got something a little planned, a special planned for me and you and for everybody in the audience.
All right.
So I won't let you know until right before we go on.
Could we tell the people now
No,
or no?
no.
Okay, so it's a secret.
It's a secret.
If you want to see what we're doing, you got to come to
I
the
think
show on the 30th.
I think it'll bring the house down before the show even starts.
Oh,
So I'll let you know what it's going to be. But
do a quick say hello to Joanne Corallo.
Joanne Corallo, hello,
how are
Joanne.
you?
Where is Joanne? What state is she
What
in?
state are you in, Joanne? I think she's in New Jersey.
That's okay. That's a
Yeah,
state.
you got to come and see the show. Hey, Tommy boy, what's going on? Hey, Miss Reed, how you doing? Okay, quick shout outs to people who like to write in and say hello. That's right, Make America Italian again. What's going on, Goomba? Hi everybody. Listen, I really am seriously proud and happy that I got to have Michael Martucci come down. So let's
That's my
hear what he.
pleasure.
Okay, Joanne.
Well, first of all,
she's here in New Jersey.
But what's really, guys, so all of you out there watching, we're actually in Mike's mother's basement.
We're really in the basement.
I thought it was just a gag that would be set up in some studio, but it actually is his basement.
All right.
His mother's basement, so just so you know that.
Tell us how long you've been singing or in the entertainment business.
Well, I started singing when I got out of the womb. You know, my mom and Sinatra music was always on in the home. So I heard it coming out of the womb. I heard Sinatra music in the background. And you pick up all that stuff, even when you're an infant. And it just was instilled in my body. And, you know, I got later on in life to work with Mr. Sinatra and travel around the world and do some events, which was great because of this gentleman right here. If you're a Sinatra fan, this is the book right over here. It's called The Way It Was, My Life with Frank Sinatra. It's told by a gentleman by the name of Elliot Weissman, who's actually my mentor, and was Frank Sinatra's manager the last 20 years of his life, as well as Sammy Davis Jr., Don Rickles, Stephen Eady, Liza Minnelli, and Elliot was the first guy that put me on stage professionally to open up for Don Rickles, and I did that for 7 years, and we played Vegas, we played Broadway, we played Atlantic City, and it was the greatest experience of my life. And from opening up with Don Rickles, doing my Sinatra show, which was a perfect marriage, it catapulted me to do Sinatra on my own.
Okay, see, this is what's great about these stories, all right? His influence was Frank Sinatra, and he got to work with all these legendary people. And I met Elliot Weissman many years ago when I was performing in Florida as the opening act for a
That's where
man
Elliot
named...
lives.
Wait a minute. I met Elliot Weissman. I was the opening act for Tommy Corello. He was one of the Four Seasons, but not the original Four Seasons, the composer more. But he was more of the composer guy.
Okay.
Who am I talking about?
I don't know. Who are you talking about?
Tommy Carrillo. I think he was he had...
Tommy Pearl, I think, is with the Duprees.
No, not the Duprees. I know the Duprees. I know the difference.
Right.
He was one of the Four Seasons when one of the Four Seasons wouldn't go, but he was more of the composer of the music. And he introduced me to Elliot Weissman, and Elliot Weissman was telling me about his career, how he managed Frank Sinatra, and Weissman being a Jewish last name, but did jail time.
Well, that brings me to a story.
All right, here comes the story.
So Elliot was
Weissman
an accountant in Westchester, and he was a very good accountant. He was taking his pilot's license, was flying his plane, he had a nice life. He played golf every day. And one day he got involved. I don't know the whole story. I got to read the book. But he was offered to run the Westchester Premier Theater, which was the ultimate nightclub theater that was built in the 80s, I believe, or late 70s up in Westchester.
Right.
And Frank Sinatra actually opened the theater. Long story short, a couple of the Goombas there ran it to the ground, and basically Elliot was left holding the bag. And Elliot, as a stand-up person that he is, kept his mouth shut and did his time. But as he was doing his time, and the book will tell you, he was working the phones in jail and booking artists from his jail cell. And lo and behold, when he did come out after he did his time, he was offered the job to be Frank Sinatra's manager. Mr. Sinatra wanted him because he knew that he did the right thing.
He kept his mouth
This
shut.
is the stand-up guy I want in my corner, and they were brothers ever since that. And they, up until the day he died. And it's a great relationship. Got to read the book.
This is amazing stories too, because the word on the street that I was listening to is that they were all in on the actual whatever they had done with the club.
The
Frank
skimming,
Sinatra,
they
the
called
boys,
it. The
skimming
skimming.
off the top. Even Liza Minnelli was part of all of that.
I don't know if the artist knew about it. I don't think so. But those guys like to keep all the money for themselves.
Right.
So I don't think they were sharing with anyone. And I know Elliot was not involved. He just did what he had to do. He was told to do, and he did it.
Well, the interesting part is that we know this story. Now, we've never been on a podcast together,
Nope.
and it just
We
worked
never
with
even
my-
talked about this.
Right. So it's kind of cool that the way this is coming to ahead and have a little conversation about something that I was never part of it. I just know about it because I met these cats, and I have some relatives that are in show business, and they knew about this too. And supposedly Elliot did the right thing, kept his mouth shut. And when he came out of prison, he became the manager of the boy. Now,
He actually
Frank
met.
Sinatra.
He actually, the first time that he was going to go on the road with Sinatra, he actually went to, I think it was Teterboro Airport, and Mr. Sinatra's plane landed. This was going to be the first time that Elliot and Mr. Sinatra saw each other
Right.
since back in the days of the Premier Theater, a couple of years back. And usually Mr. Sinatra's the last person to get off the plane. He was actually the first person to get off the plane. And he came down the steps and basically gave, and Mr. Sinatra wasn't a big hugger. He didn't like to be touched.
No.
And then he gave Elliot a big hug that Elliot knew right from there on in that he was the man. And it was a legendary career together. They put Sinatra and Sammy Davis and Dean Martin together. That was Elliot, called the Back Together Again or something. They did The Ultimate with Stephen Eady and Sinatra and Liza. So a lot of good things. Of course, Don Rickles. If it wasn't for Mr. Rickles, that show, and Elliot, then I wouldn't be here right now talking to you. Unfortunately, if you read the book, his relationship with Rickles, the end of it didn't turn out too well, and not Elliot's fault. Greed got in the way.
Well, while we're on the subject of management, are you familiar with, I guess, another manager of the boys, especially Don Rickles and especially Frank Sinatra, named Tonio Padasano?
Tonio. I know Tonio very, very well. Tonio was not a manager. Tonio was a road manager,
Right.
and he was put there by Jilly Rizzo. When Jilly died in a tragic car accident, he actually was hit by a drunken driver. I was actually with him the night. He actually drove me to the airport that night to go home. I had a red eye, and that morning he was celebrating his birthday, and he was going to get sodas and waters on the way back from the airport, and he got killed. And I landed in JFK Airport. I landed in JFK Airport that morning, and I got a phone call that Joey just died. And I'm like, it can't be. I was just with him. He just drove me to the airport 6 hours ago when I flew. And whatchamacallit. So anyhow, when that tragic thing happened, Tonio basically worked for Jilly. It was Jilly's right hand. He used to cook in the house. Tony is a lounge singer. He used to actually work in Jilly's and play the piano and sing. And Jilly took him under his wing. And it was just a good fit at the time for him to transition into the role of kind of like Jilly. He'll never be a Jilly, but to basically take care of Mr. S, put him to bed at night, put on his tuxedo, basically like a valet / road manager. So
Right.
That's what Tony did.
So I met Tonio Padasano in California
He
many
lives
times.
out there.
Yeah. And his family and his mom.
He was with his mom.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, isn't that incredible? Right now somebody's writing into the show. Bobby Blackjack. My uncle Freddie Bell worked with Sinatra and the Fellas. Do you know that name?
Freddie Bell.
Freddie Bell.
And is that what Freddie Bell was a performer in Resorts International at the Rendezvous Lounge? Was that the same Freddie Bell?
Maybe.
Is he a performer?
There's also, you're getting some hellos from Billy Greco, who happens to be my cousin. He's also on the board of directors of the East Coast Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Sure, I know very
So
well.
maybe you can get
Vinny
involved in that.
Mudongo was there doing that with him, and
East Coast Music Hall of Fame. I
Right.
said Rock and Roll. East Coast Music Hall of Fame. My cousin Billy Greco. This is Michael Martucci. So, cuz, I hope you're coming to the show on August 30th. We're going to be at the Blue Grotto, right down in your area. So,
let me tell you about that venue. First of all, you have to look at it online, guys. It's a most amazing venue. I'm not going to say it's Red Rock. I don't know if you ever heard of Red Rock in I forget what state it's in.
I don't know it.
It's an outdoor theater built into the side of a mountain, but it has that feel to it, where it's a permanent structure in the back, all seating outdoors, and then a huge lawn in front of the stage. And it's kind of like the old days in Las Vegas, where you'll be able to come sit at a table, order dinner, order drinks, and then watch our show. Which is very rare to do that right now in this COVID era. So all the COVID procedures are followed, but it's supposed to be Sunday. It's supposed to be a gorgeous day. It's supposed to be no humidity. It's supposed to be 70 degrees.
Beautiful.
I know they can't predict the weather for 2 days from now, but hopefully they're right on this one. So and plus what's great, it's on the grounds of Monmouth Racetrack. So you can actually go there, spend the day, do a little gambling, go watch the horses, and then walk right to the venue. So it's like a whole day experience. And of course the beach is only 2 miles away, down in Long Branch in Pier Village. So it's a whole day. You can really set it up and have some fun.
Well, that's what we're going to be doing on the 30th of this month, which is this coming Sunday. You can get your tickets once again at www.thebasie.org.
Or .com, either one works.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Where is this? My cousin Billy Greco wants to know. We just pretty much covered all of that.
It's in
What's
Long
the
Branch,
name of
New
the
Jersey.
place? The Blue Grotto.
It's off exit 105 of the Garden State Parkway.
105?
Yeah, 105.
For all you Jersey people,
You
it's
should know
exit
that.
105.
Exit 105.
It's kind of got it. Billy, I hope you'll come down. Michael's going to be
You're really selling
headlining
this
the
guy,
show.
huh? You really want him there.
My cousin Billy.
Yeah, well, we're selling it here.
He comes to all my shows.
Okay, Billy, we'll see you then.
Got it. Thanks. All right. Thank you, Billy. And hopefully we'll get to be part of the East Coast Music Hall of Fame when it comes back around, I believe, next year. They didn't have it this year because of the COVID, as far as I know. Billy, if you want, tell us when the East Coast Music Hall of Fame is going to take place in 2021, and we'll promote that as well.
Isn't that in Wildwood? Does it take place? Or,
They had it in Wildwood last summer.
Also, they had it once, I
This
think.
summer, June of next year. Okay.
Convention Center, I think they did in Asbury.
Yes. If you love doo-wop, if you love the 50s, if you love bands from back in the day, you want to be part of the East Coast Music Hall of Fame. They put on one hell of a show, hours and hours of some of the great musics from back in the day, and hopefully I'll get to get on stage and do some jokes. So there it is, June 7 and 8 in Harrah's in
Atlantic City.
In Atlantic City. So it went from Wildwood to Harrah's. Harrah's is in Atlantic City, and there you go. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, now you get a little quick announcement that the East Coast Music Hall of Fame is going to take place on June 7, 8 in Harrah's of next year, and I'm sure that's going to be a big thing. And hopefully we won't be wearing masks, and we won't be performing out in the garden or under a truck or something crazy. But right now we're talking about a fantastic show that's coming up this Sunday night, and I'm so happy that everybody's writing in so fast right now. So we're probably selling tickets, folks. I think there's only like 100 tickets left.
Less than that.
Less?
Less than that. Yep.
There's only less than 100 tickets for a Sunday night show. So if you're watching right now, no fucking mask. There's Mike Licata. He's a manager out in California. Can't take it right now.
Tell him I got a manager already. I don't need
No,
anybody.
we're going to talk to Mike about doing a show.
Oh, cool.
Mike's a big booker. He
let's
does
go.
Louis Prima Jr.
Okay.
Well, I don't do Louis Prima Jr. no more. He does other acts.
Okay. I would have been real impressed if he's doing Louis Prima Senior.
No. All right, so this is a great show.
This
There's
is
a lot
dead.
of people writing into the show so far. It's a little too much. There's one of my sponsors, Jeffrey Brown. Where the fuck are you? You're supposed to be here, right? I'm waiting for the food. Make sure you see us at the Blue Grotto. We once had some sponsorships with Red Bull. We're hoping we get Red Bull again.
What about Locatelli cheese?
We had
That's my
Locatelli
favorite
cheese.
cheese.
We're going to have to get back on the cheese.
That's a great cheese.
But anyhow, okay, so now you actually worked with Frank Sinatra?
I traveled a lot, hung out in the company of him, along with Elliot. Spent some nights carousing. Never forget a couple of great stories. That if Mr. Sinatra would be playing a town where he didn't like the venue,
Right.
or he didn't like the city, he'd say, "Elliot, you got a camera?" He goes, "Yeah, boss, of course I do. Well, take a picture of this place because we're never coming back here."
Oh, no kid.
So that was his favorite. That was his favorite line, if he didn't like a place at all. But another fun thing about him, fun fact, is we were at Mr. Sinatra's house in Palm Springs, and we were at his bar, which is right off from the pool. And
Hold that thought. Just hold that right there. We got to acknowledge a celebrity
Okay.
writing into the show right now.
wow,
One of the biggest names in show business, Mr. Silk Cozart. There he is, right there, from so many TV appearances, so many movies throughout the United States, from White Man Can't Jump to I can't even name the amount of movies that this man did. But
Wow.
hey, Silk, how you doing? I hope you're happy. I hope you're healthy. I hope your family's doing great. Thank you so much for saying hello. This is Michael Martucci.
Hello,
We're getting
Silk.
ready to do a big show this coming weekend. All right. I like when my celebrity friends say hello once in a
wonderful,
while.
wonderful. That's awesome. So we were having drinks, and I asked Mr. Sinatra if he'd like a drink, and he said yes. I went to the bar. I got it. Mr. Sinatra drinks Jack water, about 4 or 5 ice cubes, and I gave him the drink. We were in conversation with another gentleman. I forget who it was, and he's like looking at the drink. Keeps on looking at it, looking at it. I'm like, what the hell is he looking at? He says, I said, Mr. S, something wrong with that? He goes, it's a little too beige. It needs to be browner. So I have no freaking clue what the hell he's talking about. And thank God my brain started to work. And I said, I guarantee there's too much water in it. He wants more Jack. And that's what it was.
You would.
So I never got another beige drink from Mr. Sinatra again. It was always brown. And it's true story. And another thing that people didn't know that he did, he had a couple of threats in his life. You know, he was a very popular guy. He was very out there in the public eye. Mr. Sinatra always used to carry around a little pistol.
Oh, no kidding.
One night he brought it on stage. He was singing with it while he was in his tuxedo. Nobody knew it. He had it. He even kept it in his back, or in his on the side on his hip, or he had a special boot made where he could conceal it into his boot, which was pretty interesting story. I believe that story is in the book too. And of course, the last but not least, he was one of the biggest tippers out there. He used to love to tip people. I remember he'd ask this girl Vine, who took care of him, to fold up a bunch of $100 bills. He would fold them into little squares, and he'd put them in his tuxedo pocket, and he'd hand them out to everyone through the course of the evening. And I remember we were leaving a restaurant, a story told, and the valet parking guy was there. So his dad said, "Hey kid, what's the biggest tip you ever got?" And he goes, $100, sir. So he goes, well, here's $200. And the car came. He's about to get in the car, and he puts his head up, and he says, hey, by the way, kid, who gave you that $100 bill? He goes, why, you did, Mr. Sinatra, 2 weeks ago. So he outdid himself. He threw another $100 in there. But that's it. It's all true stories. Greatest guy, greatest gentleman. Man gave out money to people without any recognition. He'd read the newspapers every day, avid newspaper reader. See a story in the paper if he was playing like a city. Say it was in Providence, Rhode Island. There was a person there about a lady whose house went on fire and burnt down to the ground. He'd have somebody run over there and send her money and make sure they did not know where he came from. He had to do millions of dollars that way. I mean, this guy was a true mensch. And I had the pleasure of being around him, and it's made me a better person.
Well, I tell you, man, I really wish I had something to do with that era, or I had something to do with performing on stage. I never met Frank Sinatra. However, I have been lucky enough to be touring once in a while with Dean Martin's daughter.
Sure, we've worked together.
And it's yes, right?
I've worked
It's
with her.
fun to be on stage with Dina. She actually
And you get a
is-
husband when you get her.
Yes.
You get John.
I love John. He's great. I mean, you know, I'm not a singer, so I just do what I'm told, and I get to introduce everybody.
We
But,
love John Griffith.
yeah, he's hilarious. You know, but
He's very into what he does.
he is.
Especially
He's
when it comes
meticulous.
showtime.
He's a good-looking dude. He's always wearing a tuxedo.
Oh, he's always smiling, big white bushy hair.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like him. Like, John, how do I get that hair?
We were doing a show once in Connecticut, and there was an opening act that had to go on stage before me. And then I was going to go on, do my show, and I was going to introduce Dina. And he came backstage, and he said, we're having a problem with the sound. And I said,
No, there's always a problem with the sound with John. It's never right, by the way. Just want to let you know that.
well,
It's always a problem.
I think they blew the sound. All right.
Oh, okay, well, that's a different
All of a
problem.
sudden, the guy comes back, John comes backstage, and he handed me a bullhorn from a police car and said, what can you do with this? And I says, wait right here, pal. You just handed me the funniest gift. And I walked out on stage and hosted the show through a megaphone.
That is funny.
And then I did it all night long. So even when the sound started working, I still kept doing it. And they were like, "Would you stop that?" I'm like, "No, no, no. You gave me this."
Did it have the siren on it?
Oh,
too?
yes. Yeah, I was blasting that.
I have one in my car right now too.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dina Martin. Michael, stop. Shut up. But that's when
Leave
you know
your bullhorn home Sunday, please.
Yeah.
No bullhorns.
Folks, we're going to be having so much fun this coming weekend because I've done a show with Michael before. One show. But when you have chemistry with another entertainer and you're allowed to hand the gift of a mistake, maybe something goes wrong and you're comfortable with the comedian just making it jolly, it makes the show look like we've been rehearsing for days, and quite honestly, we never even met.
Correct.
So you're going to get a big bang for your buck if you want to come to the show. Now, I want you to talk about your celebrity friends that I was shocked to see with the saxophone.
Well, first of all,
like, how do you even get him?
I was actually working out in the gym one day in Foxwoods when we were doing my Sinatra Meets the Soprano show, where we went on the road and I did my Sinatra show. By the way, for those of you out there, we play with a full 22-piece orchestra, and we're playing the original Sinatra charts that were loaned to me. Every time I do a show, they're loaned to me. They're sent to me. They're flown to me. I put them back in order that they came, and I send them back. And the band is just as big a part of the show as I am, because when you hear these charts live, because anybody who's doing Sinatra out there now is getting these charts they're not real. They're transcribed. They're made by great musicians, but they're transcribed. They're not verbatim to the Quincy Jones arrangement, Nelson Riddle, Don Costa, so on and so forth.
Okay, but like to the average person who really doesn't even know what that means, a chart is the music.
Correct.
Now, this music is changed from time to time, like not the original charts. What exactly does that mean?
You'll get there are plenty of people out there that write arrangements. So what they'll do is they'll listen to the chart or to the record, and they'll scribe what they think they hear and try to come as close as they can to the actual chart. So it's kind of like a plagiarism. They're trying to copy it.
Right.
But you're never going to get the exact note that Quincy wrote on a piece of paper, or the great crescendo that Nelson Riddle might have wrote. There might be notes missing. There might be sharps and flats that are there when they shouldn't.
Right.
So you're not getting it verbatim to what you heard the recording or your life. When you throw on a Sinatra album, you hear Summer Wind. When I sing it, you're going to hear the arrangement Summer Wind. That's just exactly on that album. So the 5 saxophones, the 4 trumpets, the 4 trombones, the 2 French horns, the bass, drums, piano, and percussion will be playing the same notes that Sinatra did, his band did when he recorded the album, or he did it live in concert. So that's the difference. There's no, you can hear the difference from a transcribed arrangement to the real deal. Something's missing. You can feel it.
Right.
So the band is just as much as part of this show as I am and you are.
I was shocked when I went down to the show and I saw you rehearsing, and I saw a guy had timpanis.
That's it. That's
I'm
percussion.
like, come on.
Yeah, we don't fool around.
Timpanis. There were 3 of them. And then he had all the percussion
bells and
instruments,
whistles, yeah.
the bells and whistles, and then the
Xylophone,
drummer.
bongos.
Yeah.
That's you need all. See, I've been asked many times to do this show with 7 musicians or 8 musicians. I wouldn't do it, because for these arrangements you need the right instrumentation,
Right.
or don't do it. So
There was a guy who I guess traveled with Sinatra a lot too, and I was lucky enough to be on stage with him when I was standing in front of the orchestra introducing other entertainers, and his name was Emil, and he's the guy who played the xylophone.
Okay.
And I think he was like 90 somewhat years old when
He was a
passed
percussion
away.
player.
Right.
He played everything. Yeah.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Yeah. He was on
he
the
had
road.
2 sticks per
He was
hand.
on the road with us. Yeah, he was on the road
Okay,
with us.
so you met him too?
Yes, I did.
And that's something?
Yeah, he toured. He was more northeast, I think. More like Atlantic City, Philadelphia, New York, New Jersey. He did all those shows.
I remember him.
But yeah, listen, I decided to do this Sinatra show because I was watching all these impersonators, so to speak.
Right.
And listen, we appreciate you keeping the music alive and stuff like that. But some of them are really, really bad. I mean, I don't have the heart to tell anybody, but they're not doing any justice to the music. And that's when I said, I got to do something.
Right.
I said, because Mr. S is rolling in his grave right now listening to some of this stuff. So I don't walk out there with the hat and the trench coat over. I don't put on a toupee. You know, it's just raw Sinatra of what I saw growing up with him, being around him, watching him, being in his company, watching all the shows from the wings, you see it. It comes out. It's like I transform myself into Mr. S for that 90 minutes.
And we have a blast.
Yes, we do.
And we bring you
So you
back
gotta
to
come.
the good old days.
We will be sold out by the time this podcast is over.
Probably.
And maybe we go into a second show.
Hey, wow. How many seats?
600 and change.
Really?
Yep, which is pretty big for the COVID era. So
600.
outdoor theater under the stars. It's gorgeous, this place. Yep.
All right. So we're talking Sinatra. My mother was a big fan of Frank Sinatra. Of course, many, many millions of people around the world were fans of Sinatra. And we're talking about this book that you can get if anybody wants one. The Way It Was.
My Life with Frank Sinatra, written by Elliot Wiseman on Amazon.com. It's a must-read, guys. If you're a fan of the music business itself, there's stories in there with Elliot's other, clients. So a lot of good stuff. Dean Martin, Sammy Davis, Liza Minnelli, Charles Aznavour, Julio Iglesias, Don Rickles.
I wonder if he had Joey Bishop.
No, he didn't. No, I think Joey by the time he retired himself pretty early. He wasn't working, I don't think.
And then after Joey Bishop was another guy who's a legend in the stand-up world, Tom Driessen.
Well, you know the comics? But I was since the '70s that I worked for Sinatra. First, it was Pat Henry, Patsy Scarado.
Right.
Pat Henry opened up for Sinatra for years, maybe 10, 12 years. Then Pat died. He had a heart attack and died. And then came on, I believe, Jackie Gale was an opening act too. And Brad Garrett, actually, from Everybody Loves Raymond, did a little stint there. That didn't go too well.
Oh, no?
No.
You know what?
Wasn't one of Mr. S's
No,
favorites.
you know, it's the funniest thing is I know Brad Garrett really well.
Yeah. I like him. I like him on Raymond.
Brad Garrett opened a comedy club in Vegas called the Brad Garrett Comedy Club. And it went out of business, and then he moved it over to the MGM Grand. And I was the last week that they had the show at the Tropicana.
Right.
So Brad gave away all the shot glasses, coffee mugs, and glasses. So my entire house is filled with Brad Garrett glasses.
That is funny. I like Brad. I think he's brilliant in Raymond.
He told me when he played, when he opened for Sinatra, what it was like. And if anybody knows
He didn't get too close to him, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think he liked him. He said he did a really bad job, and he kind of got ousted.
Yeah. And then after that was Tom Driessen, who basically worked up until the last concert tour in Japan, I think it was. I think we just got a book. No, he didn't go to Japan. Natalie Cole came to Japan. But yeah, he was the last comic to open up for Sinatra before he passed.
We're getting a little bit of a fan letter right now that we're going to take quick pay attention to. Hey Kathleen, how you doing? I'm sitting right here, and I thank you so much for watching and listening to what we're talking about. And yes, Michael and I would be happy to come to Willington, North Carolina. We will send you an instant message, and we will start from there. Thank you so much.
Okay. We're going to Wilmington. Never been.
Wilmington!
I thought that's Delaware.
They need the show.
There must be
Please
two
come.
Wilmingtons.
We can make it happen. All right. You could also instant message me, and anybody could just instant message me.
We
or
should actually
DM.
What we should do, we should Facebook Live this show on Sunday. At least parts of it.
Some of
people
it,
to
yeah.
see.
I saw you in
You
a
got
cruise.
a guy? I don't got a guy. You got a guy?
I got a guy. I got a
$2.
Everybody got a guy. I got a guy. He does this. He does
I
that.
got a little bit of that.
I have my father sit
You
there.
grew up in Jersey?
Yeah, where are you from?
Brooklyn. You got a
Are
problem
you
with-
really?
You got a problem with that?
No, I ain't got no problem with
Sure
that. Are you really? You're from Brooklyn?
Brooklyn, Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, my entire life.
No kidding.
Moved out here, probably, I'm out here now about 25 years.
So where are you in Jersey?
I'm in Morganville, Marlboro, Colts Neck area,
All right.
Central Jersey.
I thought I was in Central Jersey.
No, we pushed you a little bit.
North? I'm north?
You're north of the border.
All right.
Central Jersey. But yeah, I grew up in Brooklyn. Sinatra was big in Brooklyn. Big. It's all part of. If you went to weddings, to funerals, to bar mitzvahs, that's all you heard was Sinatra.
Yeah, well, we claim Sinatra because he's from Hoboken.
I got a great. I got another great story.
Uh-oh.
Could you curse? Can I
Sure,
say the F
go
word?
ahead.
Okay, never forget
Fuck
this.
the kids.
A friend of mine does all the limousines. For Teterboro Airport.
Right.
And I was with him. Chicky, his name is.
Chicky.
And Chicky
I
Centrella.
love the Italians with
And
nicknames.
the old man was walking down the plank, so to speak, getting off his jet that just landed from Palm Springs. He was on his way to the Waldorf where he lived. And Chicky yells out, "Hey, Frank, the guys from Hoboken sends their regards." He said, no, he turned around like this. He stopped. He said, "Tell them all to go fuck themselves." So I don't think he had a lot of fond memories of Hoboken. But he did say that. It was pretty funny.
Well, getting back to the show, I want everybody to know that you do have that sax guy coming. Is he coming this Sunday?
Well, I don't know. We got some surprises.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know yet.
So there's going to be more special
We had Mark
surprises.
Rivera come to the West.
Mark
Now,
Rivera.
Mark, as you know, is the front man for Billy Joe, Italian restaurant, that sax solo, Only the Good Die Young, the middle of the song there, the break. Mark's played with, so he's recorded all those songs. He still currently plays with Billy at the Garden. And he also played for Billy, for Bruce Springsteen, Elton John, Ringo Starr, Tony Bennett. So we had him come up, and he actually took, I took the summer in, which I was going to sing, and I said, "Mark, you play it as the singer, and let the orchestra play behind you," and it was brilliant. And then we did a song together. We did New York State of Mind together, believe it or not.
I saw that. I remember that.
We went off the Sinatra track for one song that people loved. I asked them if they wanted to hear it, and everybody yelled, "Yeah."
He's a legend.
And we sold out that show. We had 1,600 people there at the Basie.
Yep.
And
he's a legend. You're a legend. The people you're going to
Yeah,
see in the audience, the people that you see up on stage, it's just a great, great show, folks. I can't say enough about how much fun we're going to have. Look, they're asking us to come down to North Carolina. They're asking us to come to South Carolina. Got people writing in
well, we
from
do
Australia.
North Carolina on Friday. We do South on Saturday.
Yeah, we can make it.
Yeah, what the
Who's
hell?
better than us?
Just send a check.
All right. So he's Italian. He's from Brooklyn. His family's going to be out. We're all going to be out.
Anybody from Brooklyn coming to the show, bring some of that Spumoni Gardens pizza with you. That LMB, the square, please.
So you get food at the show, right? Do they serve food at the show?
Look at your contract. I took the food out.
Oh, all right.
You got to bring your own food. All right, make a sandwich for
Bring
yourself.
your own. This guy takes care of the entertainers, boy, downstairs. I don't mean me. I meant the
there'll
people.
be plenty of bottles of booze open. There'll be food, shrimps, and everything for everybody.
All right, well, let's do this. Other than what I'm going to announce on the 30th, where can we find you, Michael?
Right now, you can find me in your mother's basement. In fact, I bought an overnight bag, so I'm going to be on the couch overnight. Right now, guys, it's COVID time, and we're lucky, and the fans are lucky to be able to come out this weekend. That the Basie Theater has secured this venue to see live music because it's shut down. Live Nation is the biggest concert promoter in the world. Is shut down. AEG Live shut down. There are no concerts and no tours. So I'm happy just to have this date and to be playing it, and hopefully maybe we'll do something in Florida next. Me and you.
Yeah.
I gotta get Elliot on the phone.
Where are you performing after the 30th? You have any other shows?
Right
Anything
now,
lined up?
I'm just. This is it.
How about the Christmas show?
We're already booked for that one. I was going to talk to you about it. We've changed the format. We went from Sinatra Meets the Sopranos to Sinatra Meets the Housewives in New Jersey, and so we were trying something new, and that was going to be our first show. So
Right.
it's on December the 5th, I believe. So hopefully it still goes on, but I don't know. Not too. And hopefully after the election, everything will disappear.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope. Let's hope. Let's pray. Joanna, it's nice to see you. Thank you for giving us some laughter during this terrible time. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we had a lot of fun chit-chatting about Sinatra, this book,
Time went quick.
and Michael Martucci for coming over to the house and hanging out with us down here in the basement, sharing some laughter and some joy. So we're going to get going. Would you do like a quick little acapella?
Oh, I hate to sing.
You don't want to do that?
Nah,
I don't sing either. All right, listen, he's saving it.
Wait, how about
He's
you
saving
tell
it
a
for-
joke?
Get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
Hey, listen, we're
I'm
gonna do.
shy without a microphone and a big orchestra.
It's all good, folks. This Sunday night, August 30th, we're performing at the Blue Grotto. It's actually in Oceanport. That's the technical area, but it's Monmouth Park. So go on the internet and get yourself some tickets to see a fantastic show. I'll be doing some comedy. Of course, Michael's going to come out with the 22-piece orchestra. We're going to have a blast.
If they want to hear some of it, by the way, not to interrupt you, I'm sorry. I'm not a big website guy, but Michael Sings Sinatra. MichaelSingsSinatra.com. There's videos from our past shows up there.
Oh, great.
If people want to get an idea of what it sounds like and what it looks
Fantastic.
like. To see we're full of shit or not.
Yes. You can see Michael's stuff on his website, and of course, we will go to the Blue Grotto on August 30th. Show starts at 7:30. Get there for 6:30. Go even earlier. Spend the day
Eat
down.
dinner.
It's gonna
They
be
could
great.
eat, drink, be merry.
Grab yourself a nice sandwich. In fact, we're going to talk about our sponsor in a second, where you can get that sandwich. He just showed up. He's always late.
I don't see no sandwiches.
We already ate them. The Blue Grotto, okay, this August 30th. And if you want to see me, I'm also going to do a special little rehearsing show this Wednesday night at the Stress Factory in New Brunswick. Just go to MikeMarino.net. Pick yourself up some tickets, okay? Remember, folks, make America Italian again. You don't know nothing, you don't see nothing, you don't say nothing. We're going to have a lot of fun. Joanne Corella, make sure you instant message me. We want to do a nice big special shout out to tonight's sponsor, who always shows up late because he'd rather be on the Jersey Shore hanging out with the girls, having some drinks, than come to the Mike Marino podcast. But we want to thank the Hero Kings of Nutley. We always talk about the Hero Kings because when you make a hero, you better be the king. And the king of the heroes is my friend Johnny Salami. And that's a nickname. No, I'm only kidding. That's his real name. Johnny Salami. You want to go to the Hero Kings at HeroKing.com. He's sitting right over there.
Really? Salami's his last
the
name?
guy couldn't get any tan. I guess
Better than bologna, at least.
Johnny Bologna. No, it don't work. Johnny Salami. That's the one
Much
you want to
better.
do. www.theheroking.com. The king of the sandwiches. If you're going to be in the Nutley, New Jersey area, or if you just want to order these sandwiches online, make sure you go to 132 Franklin Avenue, Nutley, New Jersey, 973-661-3095, and ask for Johnny Salami. In fact, annoy this fucking guy. Call 973-661-3095. Call ahead and say you're an asshole for being late. Now give me a turkey sloppy. He's the best. If he comes early to next Monday night show, we'll talk about his other business because I'm coming out with my own coffee. It's going to be called Mike Marino Coffee. You either drink it or I come to your house and choke you. We might even sell it after one of the shows I do with the captain over here.
Bring it Sunday.
So, don't forget, folks, if you want to know where I'm performing, you can also buy some Mike Marino swag. Go to MikeMarino.net, subscribe to the show. All right, we got to get going. Now, how do I end every single one of my shows? By always saying the same thing. You ready? Don't take no shit from nobody. Good night.
And we're clear.
Now all we're going to do is give you shit.
Fucking hot. Is it hot here or is it me?
Hey folks, I hope you're enjoying watching my podcast live from my mother's basement. We're having a lot of fun and I'm going to have a lot of great guests on the show in the future. So if you like it, hit like. You could also leave a comment. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch other funny videos. And you could also listen to my podcast on your favorite podcast app like Spotify and iTunes.